Today we'll talk about Tesla's future in Europe. I have been preparing this slide for a fairly long time. I like this topic very much. The alternative title will be Will Tesla do well in Europe battery EV market? The story actually started from US side. Last year, 2020, the battery EV registration in US is about 253,000 units. So it's up 11% year over year. Within that, Tesla grabbed 79.4% of the total battery EV market. So basically number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5, all Tesla models. I know Tesla did well in 2020 in US, but the percentage still surprised me a lot. GM's Chevy Bolt EV grabbed the third place, also the number 4 Tesla Model X by 12 units. So together, these two companies occupied nearly 90% of the US battery EV market. The table shows the expiration date of the tax credit. So you see, Tesla received 0 credit in last year, and GM received a tiny bit. So other models or manufacturers received full or nearly full credit. Even with that, and Tesla and the GM still grabbed nearly 90% of the market share. And then let's take a look on the Europe side. Last year, 1.395 million battery EV and hybrid EV registered in Europe. So the battery EV side is about 786,000. There's another source say 741,000. So they're about the same. Tesla didn't publish Europe sales number, but there are 3 sources for that number, 2 from website, 1 from famous Tesla modeler on Twitter, Tesla. So I took the average, which is 95,000. Therefore, the Tesla Europe battery EV market share is about 12% in last year. So you see 2 similar entities, large and rich, Europe and US. One is a 12% market share, one is a 79% market share. So there must be some reason for that. Let's take a closer look on the Europe market. Europe overtook China as number 1 EV market in 2020. So the number is 1.4 million versus 1.34 million, or another source say 1.38 versus 1.27. So about the same. Europe EV year-on-year growth is a surprisingly high number, which is 142%. And China grew 12%, and US EV grew 4%. But US battery EV doing better. It's battery EV grew 11%. You can see the chart on this side. This is a 2019 sales and 2020 sales. So Europe have a leap on the sales number. The growth rate partially linked to the subsidy policies. Europe is more generous on that side. The subsidies include the cash subsidy to buyers, also the credits to the manufacturers. Now we see that Europe actually has bigger base number, and it has a stronger momentum. So apparently Europe will lead the EV sales for a few years. That's why Europe is the most important EV market now and in the near future. So let's see how many models are available in Europe market. There are 40 different battery EV models for sale on Europe market. You can see this is a fairly long tail distribution. We'll draw a line here, but above it is top 10, and plot a pie chart for the top 10 brands: Zoe, Model 3, ID3, Kona, etc. So we can see that the general subsidies and also strong ICE players in Europe create a very diversified battery EV market. If we compare US and Europe battery EV market side by side, you see, and this is US market and this is a Europe market. Europe market now actually is 3 times of US, exactly 3 times. But if we count for top 5 models, the market share of them. In US side, the top 5 occupy 87.2% market, while on the Europe side, the top 5, Zoe, Model 3, ID3, Kona, and e-Golf, only took 43.5%, which is exactly half of US percentage. So that's why we say Europe is highly diversified market in EV models, battery EV models. We think the general subsidies in Europe will not last very long. The subsidy works, so I support subsidies, especially in the early phase. So Europe EV sales go rocket high and help to kick off the evolution of industry. It also create a significant financial burden to governments. The possible trend is to reduce the scope, maybe battery EV only, and that put pressure on the hybrid EV. Or only the cheaper or smaller EV, that put pressure on Tesla. Model 3 and Model Y are fairly big. Or less subsidy per car. That put pressure on everyone, especially the ones losing money without subsidy. The EV market in Europe will consolidate in near future. Many models will disappear. Those models could disappear in a few years. And here's the famous quote: only when the tide or subsidies goes out, you can discover who has been swimming naked. That's from a famous oracle of Omaha. After the closer look of Europe battery EV market, let's back to the original question: why there's a big difference in Tesla's market share in US and Europe, 79% versus 12%. I think there are 4 reasons. The first one is the higher price in Europe due to additional costs. Those costs include the import tax or tariff. For Model 3 or Model Y, that is about $3,000 to $5,000 each. And then the seaborne shipping cost, roughly $1,000 per unit. Another one is a higher price due to premium class. And Model 3 actually is a bigger car than most of the EV models sold in Europe. The third one is the supply issues. There were a supply issue last year in 2020. For example, March to May, there was shutdown in Fremont due to a pandemic, and Shanghai was impacted as well. The 4Q priority given to the US and China for fast delivery. The last one is the brand loyalty and also culture elements. Here, we tabled top 4 models in Europe battery EV market: Zoe, Model 3, ID3, and Kona, by the size, dimension, range, and price. Basically, we can see the Model 3 is significantly larger than the other 3 models. Also offer good range and highest range, and with reasonable price. This actually saying that Tesla has a double-fold leading position. It's moving a heavier or bigger vehicle for longer distance. But for the very same reason, the price is also quite expensive compared to other models, especially after the shipping cost and also the tariff. The price here listed as US price. Model 2 is likely to have a similar size to Corolla hatchback, so at least the parameter here with estimated range of 250 miles, and the price tag is $25,000. So you can see the Model 2 actually have similar spec with the other 3 models, while the price without tariff and shipping cost will be $25,000. It's much cheaper than the other 3 models. So Model 2 will be highly competitive in this sense. We labeled a few issues Tesla facing in Europe market: high price due to additional cost, and this will be addressed by local production from Berlin. A high price due to premium class, and Tesla will consider add a low price model, which is Model 2. supply issue, to have local production, and the stable import from overseas production. And brand loyalty and culture elements, and Tesla will have a Europe design center. So they have a very clear mitigation plan for those issues. Giga-Berlin will be the most advanced EV production facility. It adopts Giga-Press for rear and front underbody, 4680 battery, and structured battery pack. It's a radical redesign of core technologies. This is the original word of Elon during his interview at Giga-Berlin. I highly recommend this video. It was posted by Tobias Lind on YouTube. You can search this. The production process will be greatly simplified, and the made in Germany Model Y will be lighter, safer, and probably at a lower cost. Giga-Berlin will open this summer. More and more news pointing to late July and early August, that time frame. So with its opening, the cost reduction in Europe could be 5,000 to 9,000 over a few years. 3,000 to 5,000 from tariff, that's 10% of the car price, straightforward. $1,000 from shipping, and $1,000 to $3,000 from improved manufacture and procurement. This will not happen overnight. The import of Model 3 will continue. So it's likely that the MIG made in Germany Model Y may have lower full cost than the imported Model 3. They will need to balance the sales price. The supply issue will be mitigated, and Tesla offers better price and better car. So I think this will change the competitive landscape. The table here lists the average new passenger car price in US, Europe, and China. We can see that the Europe average car price actually is quite a bit lower than the US one, and China is even lower. So Model 2, the $25,000 car, will likely be popular in diversified Europe due to affordable price and more adaptive to European road and parking conditions. Similarly, it will be even harder in China for that model. And we know that the Model 2 will be first produced in China, and we believe that Tesla is about just to get the land for Model 2. So likely 1 year or a little bit more than 1 year from now, we will see the production of Model 2 from China. Possibly it will be imported in Europe and roughly in 2023 timeframe. So Giga-Berlin could produce it too. So we expect it will have large impact on the market. I have one video about the Model 2 prediction. You're welcome to take a look. This is the interaction between Elon and Cassie Wood and Vivi on Twitter. Apparently, Elon knows the brand and culture elements, and Tesla will establish a Berlin design center to design original car for Europe. This will address the brand and culture elements and further expand market share. Let's step back and take a look about the bigger picture. The Giga-Berlin Model 2 European design centers address the specific issues on Europe's side, but this is only a part of the story. The charging and service infrastructure are clearly the strength of Tesla. And more importantly, Tesla continues innovation on FSD, battery manufacture are the intrinsic drivers for bigger market share in Europe and elsewhere. While Tesla is working on advanced and practical projects with fast pace, while others work hard to sort out OTA or back for more domestic battery production. That's the difference I see between the competition landscape. This is the summary of the presentation. A good subsidy program in Europe encouraged the growth of the EV sector and create good diversity. The subsidy programs will shrink in future, so the profitable companies, which not many, will survive. And Tesla has a clear solution to specific issues, so Giga-Berlin, Model 2, European Design Center, etc. And Tesla's large investment in R&D program, which is about 1.5 billion last year and could be high up to $2 billion this year. This R&D program and teams with Elon's vision and supervision is the key to a large European market share and the long-term success of Tesla. So use Elon's vision. Forget about competition with others. Focus on product and compare to Tesla itself. And Tesla is pushing every day to provide smarter, safer, more powerful, and comfortable vehicles with longer range and affordable price. If you have been following Tesla for a while, you can name the activities or actions behind every highlighted word above, like smarter, safer, etc. So I predict Tesla will be #1 in Europe battery EV market this year. We'll gain a dominating position. By saying that, that means 2 times of #2 market share in a couple of years. Thanks for watching and welcome to subscribe.